Awesome. Thanks so much, Karen, for that introduction. Yeah, my name is Jelena Morgan, and I'm the Facebook Ads Area of Practice Manager and Senior Digital Strategist here at Community Boost. I've been here for about 2.5 years now, and over the past 2.5 years, I have been personally able to serve many organizations through strategy and direct ads creation. So I'm really excited to talk about our best practices in 2022 and share the knowledge that we have to make sure your organization can build and optimize strong campaigns to expand your impact. So if you're not already familiar with us, I just want to give a little bit of background about Community Boost. We are a purpose-driven digital marketing agency that is on a mission to empower social ventures changing the world. And our team has worked one-to-one to scale impact for over 400 nonprofits and raised over $40 million for them. We've worked with small nonprofits to some of the largest organizations in the world, like Cancer Research Institute, to help them scale impact through multiple channels, including Facebook and Instagram ads. So if you'd like to learn more about working with the Community Boost team to help you scale, before we jump into things, I want to kick off with a quick poll. So you should see some options pop up for you, but I just wanted to see how you would rate your success with Facebook advertising for your nonprofit. So you'll see a few options pop up before you, and just let us know if you've used Facebook ads before and how successful you have been with them. I'm seeing a few options pop up. Looks like we have had just a couple people spend a ton of time and money on Facebook ads, but looks like most people have either never run ads or need a little bit of improvement on their Facebook marketing. Is this monthly or annually? I would say probably monthly. This is a monthly range. Cool. Seeing a few more answers pop in. Awesome. Perfect. Great. So here's our agenda for the day. We are first going to go over why nonprofits should advertise on Facebook and Instagram in the first place. And then we are going to go over a couple of case studies. And I know if you have dealt with Facebook before, you're probably familiar with the impact of iOS 14, so we will touch on that as well. And then we will go through our 5 tips to set you up for success with Facebook and Instagram ads in 2022. So before we dive into the best practices and strategies for Facebook marketing, we really need to understand why we as nonprofits advertise on Facebook in the first place. So there are roughly 2.93 billion people actively using Facebook each month, making this platform the fastest growing digital media platform in the world, which makes it an extremely valuable platform to advertise on. In January 2021, Facebook was the platform on which people in the United States spent the most time per day. The average time spent on Facebook was 33 minutes, which was followed by TikTok at 32 minutes and Twitter with 31 daily minutes. When the pandemic hit, all major social media platforms obviously saw a huge increase in daily usage as well. Outside of the United States, Facebook and Instagram together reach 40% of the world's population and 31% of donors worldwide to give nonprofits and charities located outside of their country of residence. So 31% of donors give to nonprofits that are not in the country that they live in. And I know you probably hear people say no one uses Facebook anymore, but that's just not true. The numbers aren't lying. And aside from statistics, I would say that the majority of us here today use Facebook and Instagram either on a personal or professional level. I'm obviously in Facebook every single day on a professional level, but I also use it a lot to stay connected with friends and family. Some more statistics. So 77% of people believe that everyone can make a difference by supporting causes. 69% of the population gives to charity, and 55% of people who engage with nonprofits on social media end up taking some sort of action. The reach of these platforms is truly undeniable, and if you're wondering if your target audience actively uses these platforms, the answer is yes. Facebook gives us access to speak directly with our donors and make a huge impact. And Facebook will continue to dominate. It's still the fastest growing social media platform, and it is the place to advertise for nonprofits for many reasons, including Facebook's charitable giving tools. If you're not familiar with these on-platform giving tools, this includes Facebook fundraisers and the donate button that will show up on a nonprofit's Facebook business page. And with these tools alone, Facebook has announced that they have raised over $5 billion. And this doesn't even account for any donations that are happening through conversion campaigns and website conversions. This is only what has been directly raised through the platform itself. Along with the success from charitable giving tools, Facebook also recently gave an update regarding their fundraising efforts on the platform. And Facebook for Nonprofits shared that more than 1 million donors supported humanitarian efforts for Ukraine and raised more than $50 million since February 23rd. Nonprofits, like many of you here today, have such important causes, and Facebook is the place to help drive these missions forward. And Facebook continues to grow year after year. A major reason for this is because of data. Facebook and Instagram have pixels across the internet, and Facebook understands almost better than anyone else exactly who your target donors are and exactly how to show your ads to those donors. For nonprofits, Facebook and Instagram advertising is arguably the most effective and scalable marketing channel on the planet. The hyper-targeting and creative options are unprecedented because of Facebook's ability to target unique and specific groups of people. In addition to the overall averages and statistics, Facebook and Instagram ads really work for our partners as well. We have managed over $5 million in ad spend and have a 2.5 return on ad spend on average across accounts. At times, we have seen our ad spend as high as 58 times, and this number can soar even higher when using the tips and tricks to make these platforms work for your organization. So now that we've seen the numbers, I want to share a few case studies from some of our partners over the past few months. So this client is Performing Animal Welfare Society, and since 1984, the Performing Animal Welfare Society, which also goes by PAWS, has been at the forefront of efforts to rescue and provide appropriate, humane sanctuary for animals who have been the victims of the exotic and performing animal trades. And their goal for Facebook ads was their big day of giving, which was on May 5th, and it was to reach the greater Sacramento community and raise funds for animals living on their sanctuaries. So here are some of their results. They spent less than $400 in total ad spend and brought in a little over $1,200 in website donations from 14 website donations total. And then we uploaded offline conversions, which if you're not familiar with that, we will dive into that later. And once those offline donations were added, there was a 25% increase in total donation revenue, and there was a 20% increase in the total number of donations as well, bringing them to a 12.34x total return on ad spend. And this is one of their best performing ads that you can see here, which just worked really well for all of their audiences. The next case study that we have is from the Japanese Friendship Garden, and the mission of the Japanese Friendship Garden of San Diego is to educate, engage, and inspire people of diverse backgrounds about Japanese culture and community legacy. Each year, they have the Japanese Cherry Blossom Festival, attracting people from Southern California and beyond to enjoy the garden. So our goal for Facebook ads with the Japanese Friendship Garden, which also goes by Niwa, was to use social media ads to reach past visitors and new audiences, inviting them to come to the 2022 Cherry Blossom Festival. And the goal was to generate 250 RSVPs from Facebook, but the result was much larger. Overall, they spent just under $500 of ad spend for this campaign between February 3rd and March 10th. And there was over 1,000 RSVP registrations, which is way more than their goal of 250. And results were coming in at a 42 cents cost per result. So if you've been to any of our webinars before, you know that most of our case studies are donation focused, but I did want to show, some case studies with lower budgets that aren't necessarily donation focused, because at the end of the day, donations are not the end all be all for nonprofits. And I know there's many other goals and missions that people have. So this is a really awesome case study as well. And as you can see, this is one of their best performing ads as well for the Cherry Blossom Festival. Great. So if you have spent any time on Facebook or even on the internet in the past year, I'm sure you've seen or heard about iOS 14. And I saw some people say in the chat that they, love to talk about conversion tracking and how to combat that iOS 14. So basically, Facebook and Instagram got hit hard last year with the iOS 14 change, where users could choose to opt out of tracking across websites. And this is what that little pop up looks like if you're on mobile. And for Apple, this was a great update that really gave customers front facing privacy controls. But for small businesses and nonprofits, this meant less trackable data and more work to get the most out of your current marketing funnel. So specifically, iOS 14 has impacted advertising on Facebook in 4 major ways, and that is through reporting, targeting and audience building, optimizations, and measurement. So, if you were on Facebook 2 years ago, you remember the days where we had 28-day click and view attribution, but those days are gone. Conversions have appeared to drop because we can only attribute conversions to our ads within the past 7-day click and 1-day view attribution. With targeting and audience building, there's less data being collected and audience sizes seem to be getting smaller. For optimizations, our conversion data reporting on Facebook is delayed for up to 3 days, which really affects the current best practice ways of optimization. And Facebook ad users are now limited to tracking just 8 events of their funnel, which can also, affect the optimization for your goal. And then measuring success has become more difficult due to limited tracking and reporting capabilities. Cost per acquisitions will increase and return on ad spend will decrease. We cannot compare our old benchmarks to our new ones. It is like comparing apples to oranges. But we cannot abandon the medium. As we saw in the case studies, Facebook ads are still extremely effective, and those case studies were from this year, so that is post iOS 14. And great marketing is still about gaining traction where people's attention is actually at, which, as we discussed, is definitely still online and still on mobile. And we know that Facebook and Instagram are the 2 of the most used platforms today. So in order to continue with this momentum in 2022, it's really important to find a way to still reach our donors, even with this iOS change. So we will jump into how we can combat these privacy changes and continue to drive revenue and growth with Facebook and Instagram. But if you're interested in learning how you can get the most out of your ads, then you can book your free Facebook ad report card and get the opportunity to talk with someone from our team about your approach, review your ads, and really develop the right strategy of Facebook advertising for your nonprofit specifically. And we'll also provide you with resources and more information about how Community Boost can help. So if you are interested, go ahead and scan the QR code to get signed up for that as well. Now that we've gone over the wrenches that Facebook has thrown at us over the past year, let's talk about how we combat these changes and continue to drive 3x return on ad spend in 2022. Here are 5 tips to set your organization up for success. So the first tip that I want to talk about is making sure that your Facebook ad strategy has year-round momentum. I know it sounds really exciting to dive right in and ask for donations on Giving Tuesday and around the holiday season, but honestly, if you've never run ads on Facebook before, then jumping straight to donations is going to be much more difficult than you think. Running campaigns year-round really allows you to spread awareness and help your audience associate the cause with your organization so that when they want to take action, they know where to go and you're top of mind. If you've ever heard the term building your funnel or warming up your audiences, this is really where you want to start. Running campaigns such as brand awareness or engagement allows you to gain retargetable engagement, website visitors, and leads that you can retarget to when it's time for an important appeal campaign, such as Giving Tuesday. Along with the warm users to target during critical periods of time, this strategy really gives us the opportunity to gain creative learnings by testing messaging throughout the year. We also know that warming up our audiences prior to making direct donation asks will yield better overall results. And so this is really important for cold audiences as well as our supporters and keeping your supporters engaged. Engagement and brand awareness are often the first step to driving leads and donations. So by making people more aware of your brand, you will naturally increase your chances of generating conversions at a much lower cost. So these are really the key benefits to running your campaigns year round, but also it just keeps you top of mind with Facebook's algorithm. And I saw some people mention that they have issues with ads getting rejected, and Facebook is not easily trusting, meaning that they you build your trust with Facebook the longer that you're on the platform and the longer that you are continuously running ads. So that is another reason that it's really, really important to continuously run ads and continually test your creative messaging to see what works with Facebook and what doesn't. So here's an example of an engagement campaign to build momentum and establish your brand. In the top, these are the audiences that we were targeting to build our funnel and reach new audiences. And on the side here, this is the ad that we were showing them. And lastly, this is the landing page where users were being sent once they engaged and click on the ad. And the goal here is really to increase engagement around the organization and familiarize them with the mission. But other campaigns that we like to run throughout the year can include page likes, Facebook fundraisers, and lead generation, which we will also talk about in the next point. So the next tip that I have is to keep users on Facebook's platform. And this has always been important, but especially now with our iOS 14 strategies. And the first reason is really because Facebook audiences are easy to target and more accurate to target within iOS 14 changes if you're keeping people on platform. These audiences include people that have viewed your videos, liked your ads, sent a message to your page, and more. And you won't see a drop off in this audience compared to the website remarketing audiences that people have the option to opt out of. Another benefit to keeping users on platform and growing your following and engagement is because it builds trust with your audiences by letting them know you're active. Targeting users that are active on social media increases your reach and impressions because Facebook's algorithm is more likely to target these socially active users with your ad or your post. And lastly, keeping users on the platform is extremely valuable because it allows you to bring in conversions at a lower cost per acquisition. Facebook's algorithm favors people that have already engaged with your content and really ranks them as someone who has a positive experience viewing your ads and your posts. So 88% of donors say that they will give again through Facebook's giving tools, and this should motivate you right away because 88% is a lot. But if it doesn't, take a look at some of these examples. As you can see in the top screenshot, the socially engaged audience outperformed the web remarketing ad set with 22 donations compared to 5, and the cost per result was nearly half as much as the website remarketing ad set. In the bottom example, we have two different socially engaged audiences, and the first one includes people that have engaged with the Facebook page and Instagram page, and the second one includes people that have watched at least 3 seconds of the organization's videos. Web remarketing is just when you have your Facebook pixel on the website and people visit your website. You can remarket to anyone that has visited your website or performed an action on your website using the Facebook pixel. But that's what people are able to opt out of tracking. And then for socially engaged audiences, these are our Facebook followers or people that have engaged with posts or ads within the past, I think probably 180 days is what we usually go with for our best practices of our socially engaged audiences. And this also includes people that have viewed Facebook videos and Instagram videos. So both of these audiences have outperformed the website remarketing and donor list audience and had much higher return on ad spend as well. And these audiences are so valuable because socially engaged users are already on the platform and they've already interacted. So we know that they've already gone through the funnel and Facebook can easily find them and serve them your ad. This naturally increases your probability of generating donations and other conversions. So some of our favorite ways to keep users on platform and engaged are through Facebook birthday fundraisers and lead generation campaigns. If you've ever been on Facebook around the time of your birthday, you might have received a notification to start a fundraiser for an organization. Facebook is already sending people a message a few weeks before their birthday to run a campaign or to start a fundraiser for an organization. So running a campaign around this and really beating Facebook to the punch just creates a stronger impact and makes sure your organization is the one that people are starting birthday fundraisers for. So here's an example here, an ad, it can celebrate your birthday by starting a fundraiser and support cancer immunotherapy breakthroughs. It looks like a normal ad, but once someone clicks on it, it takes us to this next page and it auto-populates a fundraiser for me. If I wanted to adjust it, adjust the language that's being used, I could, and then I would be able to easily publish this fundraiser for everyone in my network to see and donate to, which is super awesome. So you can target directly people with upcoming birthdays. Another valuable way to keep users on platform is through lead generation, and this has so many benefits because it captures first-party data almost instantly with minimal clicks. And lead generation ads are a great tool to not only get first-party info, but also to generate that engagement while naturally driving down your own cost per acquisition. So here is what an ad looks like with for a lead generation ad. It looks like a normal ad as well. And once they click on it, a little synopsis will pop up for kind of what it's about. And then the user is easily able to fill out their information. And I have a case study for this specific ad as well through Wild Foundation. So Wild Foundation's mission is to save Earth's wilderness through wildlife legal protection by providing legal and advocacy support through the legislature to protect the environment. And their goal for Facebook ads was to increase brand awareness while driving traffic to their website and specifically capture emails for their ambassador campaign through lead generation. So this is an example of their ad here. And once someone clicks on it, they're easily able to enter their information. But between March 1st and April 30th, about $400 was spent on this campaign, and Wild Foundation saw a return of 380 on Facebook leads at an average of about $1 cost per lead. So I know we've touched on iOS 14 challenges quite a bit so far. So now I want to talk about what you can do right now to immediately improve digital functionality and succeed in the world of iOS 14. So here are the 5 steps your nonprofit should immediately take to improve its digital functionality and succeed in the world of iOS. First, you want to verify your domain within Facebook. You can do that in business settings under brand safety. And then you want to decide which 8 events you would like to prioritize for conversions. This is important because with all of the changes, Facebook really wants to make sure, you own this domain. So if you're sending ads here, if you're sending people here, we want to make sure that it's actually your organization or your website. And then the 8 events that you would like to prioritize is because with people opting out, Facebook isn't necessarily able to capture all of that data anymore. So you need to prioritize within Facebook which conversion event is most important to you. And that's how you will set up aggregated event measurement, which is in the events manager section of Facebook. And then you want to launch your on-platform campaigns to start building that first-party data, such as engagement campaigns and those lead generation campaigns. And then lastly, you want to adjust your digital marketing strategy to include these post iOS 14 strategies that we are discussing today. So being successful on Facebook is not completely lost cause. So I really want to talk about how you can accurately report on the data that the Facebook pixel seems to be missing. Utilizing offline conversions. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and we saw this in our case study, but utilizing offline conversions is going to be extremely powerful in 2022. If you haven't heard of offline conversions, this is a tool that Facebook initially developed for brick and mortar stores to really capture all cross-channel conversions for anyone running Facebook ads. And so to avoid underreporting conversions from Facebook ads, you need to leverage Facebook's offline conversion tracking. This gives you more freedom to report events back to the Facebook pixel rather than pixel tracking, which is more limited by those privacy policies related to the third-party cookies. So to sum it up, Facebook allows you to upload a list of offline events to match donations that occurred in your online and offline channels with people who saw or clicked on your Facebook ads. If Facebook finds a match, it will attribute the conversion to your ads. With the ability to upload customer lists of people that have recently donated to your organization, you can regain access to a larger attribution window. This also gives us the ability to see demographic info based on results without offline conversions. This also gives us the ability, Angie mentioned that she lost sound. I just want to make sure, do other people still have sound, or if everyone lost sound? Hopefully not. Okay, great. Perfect. So offline conversions also give us the ability to see demographic info based on results. And without offline conversions, we can't attribute any results to specific demographics such as age, gender, location, or even platform. By identifying where our conversions occur, we can accurately optimize our ads and ad sets to increase conversions and drive better results. So you can see in this example here, we have our website purchases, which are donations that happened that Facebook is specifically showing, and they were able to capture this data. So this isn't going to include anyone that opted out of iOS 14 tracking, and these are just your normal conversions that you would normally see. This data is directly from Facebook Ads Manager. Yes, correct. So our offline purchases is the list that we uploaded, and as you can see, it added 30 more in the top image, and then it increased our offline conversion value by almost $11,000 in the top image. The second image, we have 16 more purchases through offline conversions with an increase in over $3,000 of conversion value. Okay, great. So now that we have this data from offline conversions, we can more effectively speak to our audiences and scale our campaigns. As I said, offline conversions allow us to see demographic breakdowns, which the pixel no longer shows because of iOS 14. So if you were to go into Ads Manager and try and see your demographic breakdown like normal, everyone would just go into this uncategorized category. You wouldn't be able to see age or gender or location or platform or any of that. So knowing who our audience is crucial because personalization means everything. I know that was kind of a lot of information, and you probably have a ton more questions about offline conversions. So if you want to learn more about offline conversions and how to set them up, one of our awesome Facebook specialists, Lauren, will be going over it in her session at, I believe, 10:45 Pacific time. So that'll also be on the social stage. So you'll want to join that one for sure to learn more about offline conversions. So like I said, knowing who our audience is crucial because personalization means everything. Giving is deeply personal, so your messaging should be too. To personalize your message and your ads, you need to set the tone for your entire campaign. Make sure that your campaign message is concrete and consistent with your audiences. You also want to make sure that your messaging is relevant. When personalizing your message, it's important to map out your audiences and make sure you're speaking to the unique interests of each persona. You want to focus on meeting your audiences where they are in your marketing funnel. Another tip for personalization is to appeal to the emotions of your audiences. Use compelling imagery and copy that really speaks to the people that you're trying to reach. So you really want to focus on your marketing funnel and where these users will fall. And I'll lay out that marketing funnel or I'll lay out the different ranges where your donors can fall in a little bit as well. So here's an example of various interests that we're targeting in the ad that we created based on these unique interests. So this is for Pause Again, and this is for their elephant campaign. And we were targeting, someone that is interested in elephants and saving the elephants, as well as activism. And this is the ad that we showed them, so we were really trying to target specifically a group that would be interested in supporting this mission to end elephant tourism and really take the pledge against elephant tourism, which can be very harmful to elephants. So again, you want to make sure that you're speaking to your donors depending on where they are in your funnel. If someone is new to your mission and has never heard of your nonprofit before, you shouldn't be asking them to donate. You want to start by letting them know who you are, what your mission is, and how you've made an impact. You want to start with an engagement or awareness campaign like we talked about in tip number 1. If someone has engaged with your content, you might want to ask them to share your ads with their friends and family, or even ask them to start a Facebook fundraiser. For your donors, you want to send them a thank you. Let them know how they've made an impact for your nonprofit, and let them know what your organization has achieved because of their support. These are the people that you want to target with donation appeals because they know you, they love you, and they've already supported your organization. And lastly, if you have any lapsed donors, you don't want to target them with donation asks, but maybe you want to let them know what your organization has accomplished in the past year, or you might want to exclude them from targeting altogether if they're no longer donating or engaging with any of your content. It's really, really important that we personalize our messaging to each part of the donor journey to make sure that people feel like they are being seen rather than just, a mass grouping of people that are all receiving ads that are not relevant to them. So I know that was a ton of information, and we have a little bit of time for Q&A, and I see there's a few questions in the chat as well, but let's quickly recap. So the first tip was year-round momentum. We want to run campaigns year-round to fill our funnel with more warm users to target during critical periods of time, as well as creative learnings due to testing and messaging. We want to keep our users on platform to build trust and social proof with campaigns that keep users on platforms such as Messenger ads, lead gen, and Facebook fundraisers. iOS 14 configuration, we want to be able to combat the iOS 14 limitations and set up our configuration so that we can succeed in the world of iOS. We want to utilize offline conversions to scale our ads and drive better results. And we want to make sure that we are personalizing our messaging and being extremely intentional about who we're speaking to and how we're speaking to them. So again, making sure that all of these strategies are in place is going to set you up for success. But if you're interested in working with Community Boost for Facebook and Instagram ads, we want to walk through your biggest opportunities to drive revenue and growth with Facebook and Instagram ads for your nonprofit. So don't forget to sign up for the ad report card here using this QR code. And then I believe we have some time for Q&A. I'm not sure if I'm moderating that or...
Hello.
Oh.
All right, so Q&A. The top voted question is from Catherine. It says, for those struggling to create engaging video content, i.e. only photos and learned stock videos do not perform very well, what advice do you have to offer to optimize photo and copy-driven ads as opposed to video ads?
Copy-driven ads. So if you've utilized Canva or any other design platform, honestly, ad creative with text on it does work really well. Facebook used to have a rule where you couldn't have a certain percentage of text on your images, but now that rule has gotten rid of, and we've actually tested and seen that ads with a bunch of text on them actually do perform really well if the text is super engaging, because the creative is the first thing that people see. So if your image with the text on it gets your point across of your mission, then that does perform really well as well. And then Facebook also allows you to utilize, if you do have great imagery but not necessarily video, you can also create slideshows within Facebook or within Canva and upload those directly into Facebook.
Okay, awesome. And the next most popular question is from Scott. He asked, how do you keep up with the ever-changing metrics and back-end structure on Facebook?
Honestly, for us, I feel like Facebook changes every single day, and the way that Facebook was 2 years ago when I first started is so different than it was now. But I would just recommend doing your research and spending time in the platform, and that's why that year-round momentum is so important, because if you only were to go into Facebook a few times a year, you would have missed an update and something could be so completely new to you. But if you're constantly in it, Facebook usually will send an update or show a little notification if something is changing. So if you are in platform all the time, you will kind of have a heads up that that's happening. Before iOS 14 rolled out, Facebook did let its users know that it would be happening, and there were things that you could do to kind of prepare for that. And so really the best way to keep up with those changes is just to continuously be in platform, but also to do your research. And, there's always awesome blogs and webinars that are coming out with these updated changes for tons of marketers all over the internet.
Definitely. And our next question asks, how much of our advertising budget should be dedicated to digital advertising?
So for nonprofits specifically, there is, or not for nonprofits specifically, but for those lower budgets, I know people have lower, tend to have kind of lower budgets than e-commerce. But for Facebook specifically, the actual minimum is that you have to spend at least $1 per day per ad set that you are running. But our recommendation is typically $500 a month at minimum for your campaigns. And with $500, you can typically do a engagement campaign as well as a conversion campaign at the same time. So it really gives you the opportunity to have both of those tiers to build your funnel, but also, reach towards your goal. And so we would say if you have a lower budget, that the minimum would be around $500 per month.
Got it. And Peyton asked if the presentation will be shared afterwards. Yes, we're actually going to be sending out recordings of all of the presentations from today to your inbox, so keep an eye out for that. We should have it to you by Monday. But the next question is, we don't have access to Facebook Business Manager, but I can still post ads, mostly looking for best practices on how to get people to follow and then sign up for our classes on our website.
So to get people to follow, if I would recommend getting access to Business Manager, but I know that you can still post ads through that, but it's not as seamless. And Business Manager can seem confusing, but if you are able to get access to Business Manager, build a Business Manager, you have, I think, more options with targeting and building campaigns. But I would recommend Page Likes campaign. It's a specific type of engagement campaign where people can directly follow your page from the ad. It has like a little thumbs up on the ad so that people can follow your page right then and there. And then for signing up for classes on the website, lead gen campaigns can work really well as well, because if they are interested in signing up, then you can email them directly. If you use email a lot, you can email them directly to share information about the classes on your website, or you can run a conversion campaign as well, but you just have to keep in mind that there could be limitations because of iOS 14. And I see that Catherine kind of asked, going on with that, is Business Manager the same as Business Suite? It is not. Sometimes Business Manager, if you were trying to go to Business Manager, it reroutes you to Business Suite. Business Suite is a lot laggier and it's a lot slower, and it's not as, I think it's more like pretty looking and more front end of Facebook looking. Business Manager is definitely more technical, and Business Manager is really where you can have access to your different pages and your different ad accounts to run your ads specifically through your ad account, and your campaigns would be created in your ad account through Business Manager.
Okay, awesome. And Christina asked, she says, my boss mentioned she feels like we can't get as much bang for our buck that we used to get on Facebook. So how can marketing managers get stakeholder buy-in when it comes to running Facebook and Instagram ads?
Yeah, we hear that a lot with people that, have been super successful with conversion campaigns specifically and run conversion campaigns. And pre-iOS 14, you could get a ton of results because, nobody would opt out. Tracking seemed limitless almost. You could target so broadly. And now really you can't target as refined with interest audiences because those audiences seem smaller. So I would recommend running those higher level campaigns. And I know those might not feel as important to people that aren't in marketing, because it's like, well, these campaigns aren't giving us they're not giving us the actual conversions or donations that we want. But you have to start somewhere, and building your funnel is what's going to eventually get you those results. You can also use lead generation, works really well if you use a lot of email. So you can use lead generation in combination with your email. A lot of our partners do use lead generation campaigns, and then their giving appeals will be through email after they've captured all of that data through Facebook lead generation. And Facebook is really important, and there's all the statistics, and these are where people's attentions are at. So even if you're not running those campaigns that are getting you those higher conversions, such as like donations and website purchases, lead generation is super valuable, and just like increasing your following is super valuable as well. And you can use it alongside other channels. And so I think that is something that's really valuable, doing that cross channel strategy.
Awesome. And Grace wanted to know if you happen to have an opinion on the ethics of uploading a donor list on Facebook to create those lookalike audiences. She says that their leadership team was not a fan and chose not to do that, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so if you upload a donor list specifically for a lookalike audience, Facebook isn't really using, that sensitive information. They're using what are these people interested in, and their like behavioral actions on Facebook, which Facebook does store those behavioral actions of every person that's on Facebook. If you have a Facebook account and you're on your computer and you're searching, I'm going to buy dog food for my dog today. Like Facebook is capturing you as someone that is a dog owner or loves dogs. Um, and so they're storing that information about you anyway. And so it's not that they're keeping your private information, like your birthday credit card stuff. They're not looking at that for lookalike audiences. They're looking at your interests and your behaviors on Facebook. And so we are big fans of lookalike audiences, especially with iOS 14. Interests are much, much harder these days, and lookalikes are really the way to go to garner these top funnel audiences.
Awesome. Okay, so we might have time for a couple more questions. Laura asked, can you clarify what it means that Facebook can only track 8 events in the funnel? Is that true events or campaigns in general?
Yes, so that would be events such as leads, or if someone were to go on your website and you're tracking registrations for an event as well as donations. So it's not that Facebook can only track those 8 events, it's that Facebook, because of iOS 14, prioritizes which is the most important. For example, if I were to click on an ad and go to somebody's website and sign up for their newsletter, register for a class, and also donate and do all three of these things, for some reason, Facebook, because of iOS 14 or security, doesn't want to say that I did all three of those things. So the website, the person that I'm the user. So the other person would have to kind of decide, okay, which of those 3 events is most important to me, so that if somebody were to do all three of those things, which one would show up. And so it might only show that I only donated, rather than like attributing me to also signing up for a lead or signing up for a class. Um, and it was a new rollout that happened last year, and it's only, I think, been about 8 months, but it kind of does seem that Facebook's moving away from that a little bit again, maybe realizing it's not necessary or something. But for now, you have to aggregate your events in Ads Manager, and that just means prioritizing them, saying which one is most important to me. But you can still have other conversion events set up in your platform outside of that.